Okay, welcome to Mom Talk. We have Coach Shannon on with us today, and we are so excited you're here.
Thank you, ladies. I'm so excited to be here. Excited to dive in and really get some real talk going.
Oh my gosh. Okay, great. So I want you to start with, can you just tell us about yourself?
Absolutely. So, everyone, hello. My name is Shannon Logan. I'm based out of Annapolis, Maryland. So it's about 20 miles outside of DC. I've been an entrepreneur and business owner for the last 10 years, a little bit more than that at this point. I have a wonderful 4-year-old daughter. I have an incredible husband named John. And we have an 18-month puggle little puppy. Was not puppy because 18-month old. Uh, but his name is Gravy. And while I had had a puppy in the past, I had never had a puppy and a 2.5-year-old before. And I definitely underestimated the combination of what the two of those were going to be like. So it's been an interesting year and a half with him. Luckily, he is still alive. He's had a couple trips to the vet ER already because he's eaten things that he shouldn't. Those toys that a 3-year-old leaves on the ground, no matter how much you try to inspire her to pick them up, seem to be left. But I have been, so I actually owned a fitness studio for 10 years. I just sold it this past fall. And I've been in the health and industry field for 18, yeah, it'll be 19 years actually this summer. So I got my undergrad at University of Maryland here in College Park. I'm a nerd, so that was in kinesiology. And
Oh,
so,
fun.
yeah, science of the body and how we
Uh-huh.
move. And then I worked for a while as a personal trainer in big gyms, and then went back to grad school at GW in DC for exercise physiology. So that's another, I spent 3 years there learning and educating myself. I was blessed to actually teach while I was there. I was the TA, full-time TA for anatomy and phys for the undergrads. And then I managed a gym for a while and opened mine right as I turned 29. And at the same time of opening my business, I also like simultaneously, like literally at the same time, I got divorced and I stopped drinking. All
Oh.
happened. All happened crazily at the same time. And so I discovered a lot about myself through that time period and
Mhm.
also about self-care and what like real self-care is and how you keep your identity a mixed crisis. And then fast forward a couple years, I was blessed enough to get remarried, met an amazing man. About a year and a half, 2 years down the road, we had a baby. I got pregnant in COVID. And when you run a gym, yeah, you too. I like it. I like it.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep. So I got pregnant in May of 2020. And I was owning my gym, of course. And so it was really fun to be pregnant and try to keep your gym open or somewhat open or afloat, I should say, through COVID. And then my baby girl was born in February. And I really wanted to stay home and take care of her full time. It was really important to me that I was her primary caregiver. But I also loved my business. I loved my gym. I loved all my staff there. And so I had other kind of like aha moments similar to when I got divorced, stopped drinking, and started my business of like what I really needed to do to make that happen, both personally and professionally. And so I was able to do that. I actually stayed at home and cared for her first 2 years of life full time while I ran my business. After COVID, we actually, through that time period, we doubled our profit. I'm sorry, oh, we doubled our gross income and we tripled our profit. So I was able to kind of figure out what pieces had to be shift and how I could do that and still care for my daughter here at home while she was, between naps and things like that.
Oh, that
Something,
makes
yeah, and something else that you might hear as we kind of speak today is that might pop up from time to time is I'm a person that was born with a stutter as well. So
okay.
as a kid, I had a really bad stutter for the most part and was in speech therapy for the majority of my childhood. And as an adult, it'll kind of pop up from time to time. And for a long time, I just tried to hide it and pretend like it wasn't there. And The last couple years, I've just come to terms with it's just part of who I am, like my red hair and my brown eyes. So if you hear me get stuck on a word, it's not because I'm nervous or I'm uncomfortable or I don't know what I'm talking about. Just part of who I am. Like as I said, it's how God made me. So um, yeah, and with all of that, I'm really looking forward to chatting with you guys and learning more about all the moms out there through Mom Talk.
Okay. Well, I love your red hair, first of all. When I follow
Well,
you, I
thank
can,
you, thank you. I'm
yes,
a
I
fan of it
love it.
myself.
I love it. And yeah, I want to touch back on several things that you said. That was such a good intro. Yeah. First of all, I feel like having a puppy is the same as a baby. I have to touch on that. That's hard because I underestimated that as well.
And so sometimes worse. Yeah,
Yeah,
so sometimes worse because like you don't love the puppy the way you love the baby.
right. Right. Yeah. It's just crazy how you are with the baby. And then you want to do the same for the puppy, but I'm like, but I'm so tired from the baby. Yeah, that's crazy. And then I want to, so I feel like you've always been like health conscious. Like you went to school for all these healthy things. Did you grow up feeling like I'm doing the right things, eating the right things, or did you grow up the opposite and want to change that?
Great question. So I have been active my whole life. I played sports as a kid. I really just enjoy moving my body. So it can be hiking, it can be walking, it can be running, it can be yoga, it can be weight training. I did marathons for a bunch of years. Like I just love how I feel when I move my body. And I played sports through my sophomore year of college. Started martial arts when I was about 4.5, and I just did sports through high school and college as well. I will let you know my eating habits were complete garbage until I was about I don't know if it's my freshman or sophomore year of college, when I took a nutrition class.
Okay.
And yeah, and like my best friend from high school, who's still like one of my best friends today, used to joke with me all the time. She's like, "You're gonna die of a heart attack. You drink whole milk, you eat all this crap. Like, what are you doing?" But because I played sports, I just burned it off. And then in college, I had a professor bring in a McDonald's meal. It was like a burger and fries and maybe a soda or something. And he put it all into a blender at the start of class and blended it all up and then put like a blanket over top of it as the class went on and we went on with lecture and whatever it might be. And then at the end of the class, he took that off and you could see how it like separated and what it's and like that's what was happening in my stomach. And like that aha went off. And that was,
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, that was probably that was probably fall semester of sophomore year.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
good vision example. Yeah.
I still remember it today. Like I'm still like, oh man. And so it stuck with me. And so I was again blessed from a schooling standpoint. I had to take certain classes to learn these things. But I found it very interesting about how certain macros do certain things to your bloodstream and increase energy and decrease things. Um, and so it just, again, I'm a bit of a nerd. And so it just kind of fed right into that.
Yeah. Do you feel like everything is tied to your gut and what you're fueling your body with?
I feel like you cannot separate the human body from itself. And so the answer to that is yes. At the same time, I feel like your gut is also impacted by things like stress and sleep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I also think that stress and sleep are impacted by things in your gut.
Yeah, it's like a vicious
Just,
cycle.
yeah, so intertwined.
Exactly. Exactly.
I
Yeah,
had migraines
absolutely.
in college, and I finally found a doctor that wanted to treat my whole body rather than just giving me migraine medication, which I did. I did try the medication, and I was on that for a while, and then realized let's do something else to try to fix
Mm.
the overall.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
I feel like that's
it's
hard
so
to find
important.
sometimes.
It is, especially in our world today because doctors are just swamped and they don't have a lot of time with patients. You
Hmm.
know, it's kind of they walk in and they go through their checklist. Unless it's a like a red flag on that, then you're good to go. And if it is a red flag on that, it tends to be more of a hey, take this pill to fix that red flag than what's actually causing the flag to begin with.
Yeah. So do you do any fast food in your home or what does that look like for y'all?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in you have to enjoy life and balance. Like there is no, I'm not gonna say there's no bad food because there is food that if you eat it, your gut's just unhappy right away. But it's if it's not done all the time, it's really okay. So like my daughter loves Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. It's delicious. You know,
Mhm.
we'll probably get that, I don't know, once or twice a month. Every Friday night clockwork, and I look forward to it every Friday, is family pizza Friday in our house. It's
Okay,
like
I saw
clockwork.
that on your stories. Do you switch up where you get it or is it the same pizza every Friday?
That's a great question. Um, it is really usually the same place, and the reason is we have one that is just like extraordinary. It's like super cheesy and doughy, and it's just you can't beat it. And it's like not thin crust, but it's not deep dish. It's like the perfect consistency. And they actually were closed because a couple years back got hit by a tornado. Oddly enough, we don't get them here, but we got one here, and this one shop got hit, and so they were closed for like 18 months or 2 years, and we had to go find other places to get the pizza fix. And
Yeah.
then once they open back up, I'm like, I'm never leaving you again. This is amazing. So it tends to be the same place for the most part.
Well, it looked really good.
It was very good. It
Yeah.
was very good. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about when you got divorced and you wanted to quit drinking. How did you
Yeah.
decide about the drinking and how has that felt?
Yeah, so I have been sober 10 years. I haven't had a
Okay.
drink in a little bit more than 10 years. And kind of what was going on is that I had a very strong front on in terms of I wanted you to think that I had everything together, that I like knew what I was doing, that I had the white picket fence and it was real. And so I kept a lot from everyone, including my parents, including my friends. Like no one knew what was happening behind closed doors at my house. And so my drinking through my marriage increased as a way to cope with that. And I also someone that has anxiety. I've had anxiety my whole life, and it was a way that I coped with my anxiety as well. Um, but I never really thought it was a problem. Like I was like always just kind of said, well, if you had my life, you would drink like I drink. You know, you would have to do it too. And luckily back then I had a really good friend of mine that at the time had been sober for like about 7 years, I think. And I started to kind of let her in piece by piece on like what was happening behind closed doors, and it kind of eventually just spilled out like a waterfall. Um, and she was also in tune to like she was watching me drink, she was watching me black out, like all that kind of stuff. And she was like, "You might want to try like slowing down, trying to control your drinking a little bit, all of those things." Um, and I tried a lot of things. I tried to stop. I tried to slow down. I found that I love drink quick. Still to this day, I've got a seltzer right here. I drink a lot of lime seltzer, and I can crush that thing in like 5 minutes. I just drink fast. I
Yeah.
just do. Um, and so I found like times when I tried to control it or just have two, it was really miserable. I was like, I'm done two in like 10 minutes. Like now what do I do for the rest of the night, you know? But it was on a dare. Someone close to me was like, I bet you can't not drink for a month. And I said, oh, I got you figured out. It's no problem because I had stopped in the past for chunks of time, but I never stay stopped. And a month came and went, and I didn't pick up a drink. But I had to start to make some life ch changes because what was happening in that month and is I was having to deal with things without numbing them out. And they weren't acceptable. Like I actually left my husband in that month because I was like, I can't sit in this house the way things are. Um,
So do
and
you
so a
think
month,
you being sober for that month is what helped you make that decision?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think it would have I think it would have ended. I think it would have imploded even worse than it did. Um, and God knows how because like he would drink too, but like we both drank, we both had issues, long story short. But my drinking wasn't helping, to say the least.
Hmm.
And so 30 days came and went, and I was like, okay, I won. You were wrong. And she was like, I bet you can't go 60 days. I was like, mother effer, like what is this, man? Like I knew what I was going to pick up on the way home from work. Like I was stoked about it. Um, but I'm a pretty competitive person, and I was even more so then. I'm a little perfectionistic, and was even more so then. And so I was like, all right, I've done 30. Like I'll. It's clear to me like I can do 60. And it was actually in the 30 to 60 day span where I realized, oh, alcohol has a lot more power over me than I thought it did. Um, because what had happened is when I moved out and I left my husband, I was staying at a friend's house and she was gone for the weekend, so it was just me there. And she had booze, but like I knew where she kept it. She had wine mainly, and I kind of knew what to expect and where it was. Um, but I went to the fridge and I opened the fridge, and there was like a handle left of pre-mixed margarita mix, like Jose Cuervo pre-mixed stuff. But there was only about a shot and a half left in that whole handle. It wasn't much, but I wasn't expecting to see it there. I wasn't expecting to see it in the fridge, and it caught me totally off guard. And like I started pacing the house. I was like, am I gonna drink it? Am I not? Am I gonna drink it? And am I not? I can't stay in this house if it's here. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Called my friend and she was like, dump it out. I'm not dumping it out. It's good booze. What are you thinking? Like, no way. But that taught me, hey, like you're powerless over alcohol. Like it has a hold on you. Because we're talking about a shot and a half maybe of pre-made mix that just because I wasn't expecting it I could not like go on with my day and it had that much power over me. And I was like, oh, there is actually something here. And
Hmm.
I need to look at that and figure out why and get some help with it.
So that was kind of your jumping off point was sober and left your husband. So now you're starting over on how you're going to do
Yep.
things. Yeah.
Yep.
Does your current husband drink?
No.
Okay. So y'all both
Yeah.
are in agreement on
Hmm.
that. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
I would love to hear like what is a day in the life for you?
What a day in a life for me is like. Okay. Safe zone, right? Judgment
Yeah.
free
Yes.
zone.
Oh, yes,
All right.
absolutely. For sure.
Now, I'm gonna say this first part, and most people go, "Oh my God, I don't know how you do that," but you'll understand it as I go through my day and I talk about the end of my day.
Okay.
So I wake up at 4:45, Monday through Saturday. Sundays I sleep until 6. Um, but I do that for two main reasons. One, because I really like to have some time for myself before my kid gets up. I find that I'm a better human being when I can sit for a while, have a cup of coffee, read my Bible, pray for a little bit, just kind of start my day calm instead of a place of like reacting to what she needs or what's on my cell phone or those kind of things. So I wake up at 4:45. I have a little bit of a green shake that I take to, start my day with some good nutrients, and then I make some coffee. My husband gets up at the same time, and then he heads for the gym. And then I sit down, I read my Bible, I do my prayers, and then I do a work block from 5:30 to 7 a.m. And in that time, I get like my most important work done that is going to help me move things forward. And I find at that time of day, I get so much done because I'm really focused. It's first thing. I have the most motivation that I'm going to have all day, and I'm left alone. Like no one's here to bug me, and the world is just so quiet. So my inbox is not flooded. My phone's not ringing, that kind of stuff. And then my daughter gets up at 7. She's 4, so she's in preschool. And so we do the whole morning, breakfast, play a little bit, brush hairs, get dressed, take her to school, drop her off at about 8:30. Then I'll come back and get a workout in. And then I go back to work from 10 to 2:30, and work looks like I have coaching clients. Um, I'm a business mentor, so I have some clients for that. I'm a sales mentor for businesses, so I have some clients for that. I have my own coaching clients that I help come back from burnout and figure out like how to manage, escape from the pressure of the day-to-day grind. So I might have some calls for that. I do marketing, do email coaching. I do all of that stuff. I take calls, I lead calls till 2:30. I do a brain dump so I don't forget things and figure out what my top priorities for my next day are. Shut things down at 2:30. Go pick up my daughter. I'm there by 3. That's the time her school gets out. And then Monday and Wednesdays, we either have swim or gymnastics till 5. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays, we go to the park, or we go if it's warm enough. It's not like rainy. We're outside in some. We go for a hike, we go for a walk, we go to the park, we ride bikes. Um, Husband gets home at 6. We do dinner. Bath time starts at 7:15. He does bath time. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, husband. I take that time to do a little Netflix of my own, just some decompression time.
Hmm.
And then we do goodnight kisses and prayers at 8. And then I take a hot shower myself. If I've worked out, I have showered before. I just like to take a hot shower before bed because it helps me sleep better. Get in bed, do a little gratitude journaling, read a little bit, and my lights off normally at 8:45.
Oh God,
That
I
is
love a schedule.
I love that.
I love it. I love a schedule. I love my kids being on time to bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is my rinse and repeat for the most part. And to be transparent, like bedtime's usually like between 8 and 8:20. Like it's not, I would love it to be 8 every night. My
Hmm.
my husband, that's his time with her, so they might read an extra book or might take longer in the bath or those kind of things is where mama's like, "All right, let's go," because I don't get to go to bed till you're in bed.
100%.
So
I'm like, okay, you've been in the bath 15 minutes, get out.
If you're pruning, you're plenty clean.
Yeah, good
hmm
enough.
I love
Absolutely.
getting up in the morning and doing my prayers and meditation as well, but I do not get up at 4:45. I struggle in the morning. I'm sure that's not uncommon. I'm sure you've not ever heard that, but that's my struggle is the getting up in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would say that's more normal than not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually work with my clients. I do a whole sleep portion with them where we look at the last 60 minutes of their day before they go to bed, because
Okay.
that's going to really impact the quality of sleep that they have and how well rested they feel when they wake up. Um, a lot of people know about REM sleep,
Hmm.
but not a lot of people know about something called deep sleep. And deep sleep is actually what allows you to feel energized when you wake up, and it actually restores things that you break down in your body through that day. So, um, what we tend to do is I highly recommend, I know people hate this, but I highly recommend you get all off screens the last 60 minutes before bed. And yes, it's because of blue light, which is what most people think about. But it's more than that. It's about allowing your brain space to like come down off of getting input all day long.
Okay.
Because there's a lot, I mean, this little rectangle here, right? We have access to anything pretty much in the world. Like you can access news from across the world in a blink. But you also get text messages. You also get social media DMs. You also see a Twitter or X now headline pop through. And these are all things that stimulate us and can also get us really emotionally worked up about topics that we probably shouldn't be emotionally worked up before bed. So, like for me, what I do is I actually keep my phone in my office here. And so at night, after I give my daughter a good night kiss, I come and I plug my phone in the charger here. And then I go and take a hot shower. And so I tell people, like, in that last 60 minutes, just do old school activities, ones that aren't attached to screens. It could be things to help you for the next day, like packing lunches, prepping clothes for the morning. It could be something enjoyable. Like I have what I call a fun book that I read at night because I've got a couple bookcases next to me here. I have a lot of like self-help books and business books and But if I read those before bed, it's no good. So I have a little bit more like fun book
Mhm.
stuff that I'll read at night, and just finding things to help your body and mind wind down and know it's time to rest. Does any of that strike a chord with you guys?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, of course I am scrolling on my phone, but it's not, it's really good to hear that. Like, that's not what you're supposed to be doing right into bed. And I think it will definitely help me turn my brain off.
I do feel like I've gotten a little bit better.
Okay, so we have added some stuff into our life over the past year, like red lighting and things like that, to like
Excellent. Yeah.
chill our body out and relax. And Victoria's really good about doing hers.
That's usually what I do before bed, like a little, I don't know if it does anything or not. I just think it feels nice, but like the acupressure mat, I lay
Ooh,
on that and then the red light. And then, I mean, I scroll my phone some still, but I definitely have steps that are not
Yeah,
screened.
right.
hmm I'm getting sleepy just thinking of that Acumat and that red light. I'm like,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
good
Yeah, it's
one.
nice.
yeah, yeah. Well, also, and with the whole like scrolling thing, I tell my clients like, don't feel bad about it. Don't have guilt because the companies that are running that stuff are paid and are making billions with a B every year to keep us scrolling. Right? So like they spend a lot of time and a lot of money to keep us tied in there. And that's why it's a black hole because you get on there to check one thing. Like I'll get on there, of course, to check it if you guys sent me a DM, but I get like this heart for this like over here or this other DM or all these red notifications that I have to check, and then I end up on the home screen and I don't even know why I'm there, and then I'm 5 minutes into scrolling, I'm like, wait a second, what did I come into Instagram for? I don't even remember. And that just means that they're doing their job really, really well.
Yeah.
They are. Do you
Yeah,
ever feel, I know we feel like this, but do you ever feel like, yes, you have a business and yes, you have to promote yourself and you want people to know what you're doing, but you never intended to be like a social media influencer on your phone that much, like as your job? Because that's
a
how we've
hundred
kind of
percent.
felt with the podcast. We're like, we
I
wanted to do
bet.
a podcast, but here we are on our phones all day.
Yeah. Yeah, I have, and it's hard, right? Because you feel like it's a catch 22 that in order to grow business, in order to grow followings, you need to be doing these things. And while some of that's true, absolutely, and I literally just had this whole kind of conversation with myself about a week and a half ago, because we went on vacation for a week, and I really had an amazing time, and part of that was what I wasn't doing on my phone. Um, and so I've actually built into to my schedule like when I do certain stuff on social media on my workday. And I have an app. It's called Opal, OPAL. I don't know if you guys have heard of it at all. But it's an app to block apps because that's the world we live in.
Yeah.
And what I like about it, it is a paid app, but you can set certain days and times for for certain apps. So what I might have blocked like Saturday mornings is not the same thing as what I have blocked, let's say Tuesday night. And I can set certain times, and I can set degrees of difficulty. So like for me, I have it set that from 3 o'clock to 7 I cannot access. Like I physically cannot get on Instagram, Facebook, mail, WhatsApp, or YouTube. Like my phone is locked out. I can't get to it because I've had to put something in place so that I'm present and I'm not like, man, I need a mom break just for 15 seconds. Let me see what happened on IG since I last checked, and then, you know, I'm off to square one. So, long story short, I've actually built out like my content schedule, and I put in my chunks each day of like where I can put up stories and that kind of stuff. And I try to get it all done before work. And if stuff comes up, like my daughter does something really cute that I want to share, and it's before 7 p.m., I can't share it anyway, and then I only do it when she's in bed and I'm checking out. So
That's smart.
Yeah, that's really smart. I love that. I've never heard of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, there are a bunch of those kind of apps now. I think one of them's called Freedom, one of them's called OneSec at ONESEC. Um, but it's crazy, like the systems we have to put in place, to live the lifestyle that we want.
Yeah.
What I also wanted to ask you about is that poll you posted. If you could take one thing off your plate. I was surprised. Okay, for anybody that didn't see it, if you could take one thing off your plate today, I don't think you've seen it, so I'm gonna ask you, Victoria. Would it be work stress? Would it be meal planning? Would it be an overwhelming to-do list, or would it be household chores?
Household chores.
Okay, so that's the second highest of the poll. The first is the meal planning and cooking, and that is 100% me. I'm
I see
like,
that.
when I go back and think, I'm like, I would take work stress off or overwhelming to-do list, like just those words alone, I would think that's what I would want to take off. But no, it's the meal planning and cooking, especially meal planning and what goes into that also is overwhelming to me.
Yeah, because it's repetitive.
Were
It's
you
never.
surprised at that, or did you expect that poll?
No, I've been keeping tabs because I just brought it up as you said it. And I wasn't that surprised because it doesn't really end. Like it's something that like rinse and repeat every single day, as where work stress can ebb and flow usually, depending on if you have deadlines or tasks or certain things. Same with to-do list, household chores, depending. But like the thing about food is like you need to eat. Like you have to eat. You don't
Yeah.
have to clean the house unless you're me and you can't function with a ton of clutter.
I was gonna say, y'all are the same.
That's yeah. And like household stuff, I mean, a lot of things, like I said, applies to you, but you're never done. Like it's never off your to-do list. Like laundry, you're just somewhere in the cycle.
Right,
There's no completion.
right,
Like you can be
right.
done for now, but it's never done. Dishes, same thing.
I know there are weekends where so I clearly work from home. But my husband has an office that he's at the majority of the time, about 10 minutes away, and my daughter's in preschool. And so on weekends when we're all here, by Sunday nights, I'm looking around the house and I'm like, can't wait for you people to go back. Right?
I set up my space.
Like, I love you with all my heart and soul. I've also cleaned up the kitchen 5 times today and it's only 4 p.m. Like, what
Right.
is going on?
It's brutal.
Yeah, and I've got one kid. We're working on a second. We've been trying to have a second for quite some time. So we'll see if it's in God's cards for us. But I can't imagine. Like I have a friend that has 5 kids. I'm like, you are a freaking superhero.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're a
literally.
superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only have the two, but yeah. I'm like,
I
wow.
only have the two. Yeah.
I mean, compared to five,
Five.
two feels
Yeah.
like five sometimes.
Yeah, it can. Okay, so if someone's looking for a health coach, what do you feel like your specialty is? Is it overall? Is it workout? Is it food? What does that look like?
So what I'm really passionate is kind of what you talked about with your doctor is looking at the whole person.
Okay.
So when I think of health, I just don't think of um, body health and just like what size you wear or how far you can run or what you eat. I also work a lot on just overall energy and actually a lot of time management as well, because that all goes into how mentally we're operating. And some of the things that we just spoke about, like with the phones and the input, um, the majority of people are struggling from some level of anxiety. And a lot of it has to do with how fast-paced our world is. And a lot of that has to do with, again, how many screens and how quick input that we have. And so I really sit down with my clients and I say, okay, why are you here? Like, what's not working? And I just let them brain dump on me and tell me everything. I'm not happy with my weight. I'm not happy with my sleep. I'm not happy with my sex life because of my weight. I'm not happy with my confidence. I work too much. I don't sleep enough. Like, just dump it out. Because you'll find a thread typically through all of those things. And normally, where that thread leads back to is that person's lost track of themselves.
Mm,
And we start there. Like, who are you in terms of what's important to you? So I actually start all my clients with value work. Like, what are your values? What are yours? Not what you think yours should be or what society says they are, but like what compels you.
mm,
And then we look at, are you actually living by those? Because a lot of times people will say, well, I value health or I value family or I value faith. And then they look at where they're spending their time and they're spending their money, and it's not in those places.
mhm.
And it's like no wonder you feel crappy inside because like your moral compass is leading you somewhere that you're not actually walking with right now.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
That's good.
And you take clients from all over, right?
I do. Yep. Yep.
Okay. And you have a podcast coming out, right?
I do. I do. It launches today. Today is March 10th while we're recording this, and
Mhm.
it's called Your Thrive Era.
Love it.
Um,
Thank you.
I'm a Taylor Swift fan. I'm a big Swiftie. Judge me as you will.
I went to the
Um,
concert. I got you.
yeah, but I've been a fan of hers since I was 20, since her first album came out. So like I've gone to almost every show. Like I've been an old school Taylor fan. I'm not, a bandwagon that got on in the last two years through her incredible Eras tour.
Right.
Um, but so I talk all about starting to thrive instead of just survive. So
Hmm.
I use the word thrive, and then she just got done the whole Eras tour, and I was like, I
Yeah.
like the name
Love
Your
it.
Thrive Era.
Uh-huh. I love that.
Yes,
Adorable.
ma'am.
So where can people find the podcast? What app are you on?
It's going to be on Spotify, and it's
Okay.
also going to be on Apple. You
Perfect.
can also find me on Instagram, Coach Shannon, Shannon Logan Logan. And then my website is coachshannonlogan.com.
Amazing. Everybody needs to go follow her, sign up to listen to the podcast. I know it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to listen to it.
Well, thank you, and I'll do a short plug. I actually have
Yeah.
I'm building out a 30-day course that's going to launch about 2 weeks from now. Launch on the 17th or the
Hmm.
16th. It's called the Stress Detox, and it's a simple 30-day email course. So every day you'll get an email with simple, actionable items you can do to shift how your body responds to stress. And it's not like long meditations. It's not like another app. This takes less than 5 minutes every single day. And I'm going to guide you personally on walking through each day of like, here's what we do on day one, day two builds on day one, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So by
Hmm.
the end of those 30 days, first of all, you have all those resources that you can use forever. And you've taken this fight or flight response that the majority of our bodies live in, and now you've broken it, you've retrained your system, and you just feel lighter, calmer, not nearly as overwhelmed and stressed as the majority of society is walking around as.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like
Everyone needs that.
we talk about fight or flight a lot and
Yeah.
how we react to stuff.
Hmm. That tightness you get in your chest.
Mhm.
Mm.
And I know as moms too, like I'm always on the clock. Like I always feel like I'm fighting against the clock to get here, to do there, to make sure this is finished on time. And if you're a working mom, it just doubles. So.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you wanted to say on this podcast today for our listeners that you really wanted to get out?
I just want to say, hey, mom, you're crushing it. You're doing awesome, and give yourself some grace because our world is hard, our society is hard. And I at least feel like we grow up just kind of taking what moms do for granted, and it's really hard work. And if you're just trying your best, you're doing more than enough.
I agree. Mom to mom, we're all doing the best we can and killing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amen. Absolutely.
I appreciate you so much coming on here. You're great. You're wonderful. Like you're so easy
Thank you.
to
That's so
talk
kind.
to, have good energy. It's been fun.
Yeah. Thank you
Thank
so
you so much.
much.
It's been a joy, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.